So in this video, we'll catch you up with everything Bentley's been up to, as well as some of the things that have caused this video to come out a bit later, including tree falling down and other exciting things. But before we get to that, Bentley's got to have his morning scratchies and then supervise some manual labor. There wasn't a whole lot left to do or pack, so we figured we'd take him around the block for one last walk around the neighborhood before we move back to the other house. As long as there's grass, he's a happy boy. Time for a post-walk nap, just before we rolled up and vacuum packed the mattress. Of course, that's where he wants to take his nap. We also generally leave the mattress for the last thing to move, basically, since once we pack that up, then he knows that we actually are moving, and he starts to get a little bit more stressed out. But after a little bit, he got up to help supervise plant packing and cleaning. But we pretty much had everything packed up by this point. Of course, Bentley was there to supervise, make sure that nothing was forgotten, and that we didn't leave without him. But once we got everything else loaded up, there was just one last thing to get in the car. Once he got in there, like magic, we've now moved. I think he missed his giant sectional sofa and his electric blanket, in case you couldn't tell. After another quick nap, Bentley was supervising. He's got a lot more space in this yard. He has his own little area set up where he's got just enough shade, but also quick access to the sun. He likes the dry, bristly grass. He probably spends a good 3 to 5 minutes every day actively rolling around like that in the sun. But that's still hard work. It makes him a tired Bentley boy. So it was time for yet another nap. Didn't really film a whole lot else that day. Everybody was pretty exhausted from moving. But the next day, we took Bentley back to the city park so he could check up on all the smells he missed since we've been gone. We went in the morning before it got too hot, but in Missouri, if you're in direct sunlight pretty much any time during the summer, it's pretty hot. So he was already getting a little toasty. He knows where to find the shade. And the good smells. These trees bloom for like 2 days and drop all this stuff. Which is probably annoying if you have them in your yard, but for your dog, they're fun to smell. We also try to go in the morning to avoid a lot of the mosquitoes, but it's Missouri, so there's always bugs. I feel like he was making sure that he peed on the right tree. Just had to double check. So by now you probably get a sense of his routine, and it was indeed nap time again. It was reasonably hot out, and he still wanted to have blankets on. He likes blankets. Later that evening, he supervised some gardening, and also stepped on a variety of different plants. So helpful. Bentley also had his first encounter with a chicken. Surprisingly, he didn't bark at all. He just stared at it. And then stepped on more plants. And we picked the perfect day to start the garden, because that night we had a pretty decent storm. Fortunately, nothing was damaged, but it was a fair amount of stuff to clean up. And it made quite a thud when it came down in the middle of the night. So check back in the next video to see more of what Bentley has been up to. And we'll hopefully be back on a more regular upload schedule. They're not our chickens, they're from the neighbors. They just come to visit.